but I'm almost done with Advent of Code 2022. So, day 25. Full of hot air. As this expedition finally reaches the extraction point, several large hot air balloons drift down to meet you. Crews quickly start unloading the equipment the balloons brought, many hot air balloon kits, some fuel tanks, and a fuel heating machine. The fuel heating machine is a new addition to the process. When this mountain was a volcano, the ambient temperature was more reasonable. Now it's so cold that the fuel won't work at all without being warmed up first. The elves, seemingly in an attempt to make the new machine feel welcome, have already attached a pair of googly eyes and started calling it Bob. To heat the fuel, Bob needs to know the total amount of fuel that will be processed ahead of time so it can correctly calibrate the heat output and flow rate. This amount is simply the sum of the fuel requirements of all the hot air balloons. Okay. This is a day one problem. Those fuel requirements are even listed clearly on the side of each hot air balloon's burner. You assume elves will have no trouble adding up some numbers and are about to go back to figuring out which balloon is yours when you get a tap on the shoulder. Apparently, the fuel requirements use numbers written in a format elves don't recognize. Predictably, they'd like your help deciphering them. I'm going too fast here. This map says I'm missing 2.5 days, so 6 stars. All best route problems. Yeah, that's why I wrote a little Dijkstra library function, so I wouldn't have to write it every single time. Although it's kind of a pain to use, I need to come up with a better API for it. Because you have to create a state and then impl hash and EQ and partial EQ for it. Which is kind of annoying to have to do each time. Okay, you make a list of all the fuel requirements, your puzzle input, but you don't recognize the number format either. Yeah, I don't. I guess this is our test input. Fortunately, Bob is labeled support phone number. Not to be deterred, you call and ask for help. This map says I have a basic Dijkstra implementation. I just really don't like the problem space. Oh, yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. That's right. Just apply the fuel amount to the, for more than one burner. No problem. You just need to add together a special numeral analog fuel units. Special numeral analog? Oh, SNAFU. Okay. Patent pending. They're way better than normal numbers for. You mentioned that it's quite cold up here and asked if they could skip ahead. Okay, our special numeral analog fuel units, SNAFU for short, are sort of like normal numbers. SNAFU works the same way. It uses power of 5. Okay. Ask why some of the digits are like this, right? Why do they do that? Instead of using 4 through 0, the digits are 2, 1, 0 minus and double minus. Minus is worth -1 and double minus is worth -2. Okay. I mean, I can work with that. It's because 10 in normal number is 2 5s, no 1s. SNAFU is written 2 0, since 8 in normal number is 2 5s minus 2 1s is written 2 equal. And you can go the other direction. All right. Our handy SNAFU brochure. You ask if the fuel will even work in these temperature. Wait, it's how cold? There's no way the fuel or any fuel would work in those conditions. There are only a few places in the... Where did you say you were again? Just then you notice one of the elves pour a few drops from a snowflake-shaped container into one of the fuel tanks. Thank the support representative for the time and disconnect the call. SNAFU brochure contains a few more examples. Okay. I think we can work with this, right? Hang on one sec over here. Okay. I think we can do this. So we have a bunch of different numbers. Right, so this is the test input. So we can convert these, right? We have 2, a minus, a 0, a minus, a double minus, and a 1. But it's base 5. So, all right, let's get set up. Oops, wrong one. This guy. We're finally on the last problem. All right. Let's go over here and bacon things up a bit. All right, so we can grab the input, right? Let lines is equal to AOC lib read lines. Input 2022-25.text. Oh, right. Test input first. And then, oh, and we don't have this yet, so that's not going to work. Let's grab our input. And again, we have to do it by hand because I've lost my session key. Save into input.text. So doing this the old-fashioned way. Input 2022-25.text. There. We got a whole bunch of this weird base. Okay. So for part 1, what are we doing? Oh, that's right. This is day 25. There is only a part 1. As you input this number on Bob's console, you discover some buttons you expected are missing. Instead, you're met with buttons labeled. Okay, I don't even know what we're doing here. Oh, right. We're adding up all the numbers. And then it looks like we just have to output it in. So it's 4890 for the test input. And then we have to output it as 2 equals minus 1 equals 0. Okay. What we can do is just store the count. Just call it the sum. But that means we're going to yeah, let's store it as strings. That way part 1, there is no part 2. We don't have to worry about moving things back and forth. There. Let's just do that. And then this becomes self-nums. Okay, so how do we convert this into that format and then sum them up? For n in self-nums. Let's just write a converter. Well, if we just write a converter, we don't have to do it this way. We can just say self-nums iter map convert sum. And I just write a function called convert. Actually, we should call it what the direction we're going. Oh, right. And then we have to output it the other way. Map to I64. And then we just say some, we'll call it to SNAFU of sum. Okay, and then we just have to write these two functions. fn to I64, which takes in a string and returns an I64. All right, how do we do this? Hiatus, hi. Hiatus says 30 lines of code before anything happens. That's what we call a nice starting point. It's because I'm using this framework, which gives me timing information. So it is what it is. It's what I'm used to now. So if we want to convert it to a number, we're going to walk the characters in the string, right? And we're basically going to just multiply by 5 and add up what we need to do. So let mut result equals 0. Match C. If it's 0 through 2, then we're going to say result is equal to result times 5 plus C minus 0 as I64. And minus and double minus or just minus -1 and -2? Okay, so that's all we have to do for that. Negative is, or minus, right? Single minus is worth -1, so its result is result times 5 minus 1. And double minus, double minus is results times 5 minus 2. How hard could that be? Everything else is invalid input. I'll put those around it, and we're done, and we return results, and we're done. This we could probably also turn into an iterator, right? To SNAFU, I'm just going to have nothing for now. Num I64 returns a string. Oh, nice try. To a string. I just want to see if I can convert these correctly. Println S converts to results. And this fails. Cowface Dude says, once you're done, can I suggest another approach? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I can't just do this. Doesn't like... Do I have to make it a string then? It has to match exactly. Yeah, okay, that's better. Oh, and this is char as U8. And this doesn't like it because, oh, because I put a semicolon there. Smab says, I think your logic for the minus and double minus is incorrect. All right, well, let's compare. It looks right to me. So I think I'm okay. Now I just have to convert it back the other way for the final answer. So we just take a number in, and now we need to basically mod 5, right? And then convert it from... So how to handle the negatives. And unfortunately, we're going to work from our way from the bottom. Right, I don't want to say while... I'm putting loop here, and I'm hesitating because normally I'd say while num is greater than 0. But we want to be able to handle 0 as well. So I'm going to say a loop do work. And then if num equals 0, break. And then this is going to be results.chars.reverse.collect, which probably can be inferred. All right, so what do we need to do in terms of the work? We are going to modify number because we want to divide by 5 each time. Match num mod 5. If it's 0 to 2, then that's all we need to do is push that number on. Okay, result push. Num mod 5. Right? Match n. Result push n as U8 plus b of 0. And all of that as char. Right? And then we have to divide, oh, we have to do that here, right? Num divided by 5. If it's a minus, then we're going to, oh, sorry, not minus. If it's 3, then we have to handle, this is a double minus case. right? And then 4 is going to be a single minus case. So this is double minus. And what do we do for time? You know, it's trying to be helpful with the comments, and it's just annoying. Let's see. We need to first of all push the double minus. But then we're not going to just divide num by 5. We need to actually add back the amount that we lost. Right, so it's num is equal to num divided by 5, but we did a double minus. We need to add 2 back in. Num plus 2 divided by 5, like that. My brain is telling me that that's what to do. And this is num1. Does that make sense, or do we add the 2 afterwards? Let's get rid of this. Do work business. Oh, what did I do here? I must have copy pasted somehow. Or yanked too many lines when I copied. Oh, this is here. This shouldn't be unreachable, but I think it's because of this bug. Oh, semi. Semi. Oh, and these need to be characters, right? And, so that's interesting. If I do it that way, see, Rust isn't, Rust should know that the only possible results, but it's saying I didn't include these ranges here. Now it's possible, like, since num is I64, we could have -4 through -1 as well. But it's thinking, oh, well, you need all the other possibilities. Which shouldn't be the case. Math is broken. Oh, and let me switch that back to n. All right, but is that the right answer? 2 equals -1 equals 0? Yeah, okay. That's straightforward. Let me take away the print because I don't want to see that when I'm doing the real input. And I think that's all we need to do. Right, and we can actually do this all in one go. And then we'll do the real input here. Self nums. Okay. And what do we got? We got this fancy thing here. That's the right answer. Yay! Continue part 2. The hot air balloons quickly carry you to the North Pole. As soon as you land, most of the expedition is escorted directly to a small building attached to the reindeer stables. The head smoothie chef has just finished warming up the industrial-grade smoothie blender as you arrive. It will take 50 stars to fill the blender. The expedition elves turn their attention to you, and you begin emptying the fruit from your pack onto the table. As you do, the very young elf, one you recognize from the expedition team, approaches the table and holds up a single star fruit he found. The head smoothie chef places it in the blender. Only 49 stars to go. You have enough stars to start the blender. Boom. You make a smoothie with all 50 stars and deliver it to the reindeer. Yay! The sleigh is already warmed up by the time they finish eating. Congratulations. Oh, Coldmonk says, congratulations, well done. Cowface Dew says, congratulations, thank you. Let's take a look at my personal stats. Oh, 9741. Got gold here. So am I the 9741th? Yeah, I'm in the 9741th. Cracked 10K. Wow. This is still my best day. All right. That was exciting. That was fun. And I still have to finish all of 2017, 18, 19, and 20. And then I'll have however many that is. 100, 200, 300, 400 stars.